Matthew chapter 2. Matthew chapter 2 from verse number 1. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." After they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasure and presented him with the gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. How do these Magi knew about the birth of the Lord Jesus? And remember that the Bible said that they came all the way from the east. And many scholars have given to us the explanation. They could come from Babylon or modern day Iraq, that is the east of Israel. Or they could come from Persia or modern day Iran. Or they could come from Media or region within the Parthian Empire. Why do they believe that these Magi or the wise men could come from either Iraq, Iran, or the Parthian Empire? Because in those days, these empires are known for their astronomy. They are excellent in astrology. They have royal advisors trained to interpret the signs in the heavens. They were large Jewish. They also have the large Jewish population lived there after the Babylonian exile in the 6th century BC. Now, why is this so important? Because it could be from these exile or the Jewish people who were taken into captivity, that they also share about the prophecy about the birth of the Lord Jesus. And they may also heard about that. But more than that, they could, even though they don't know or have not heard about the prophecy about Jesus, they could also can predict from the star, the comets, the natural event that happened. And they gave us the conclusion. Now, do you still remember about Daniel? In Daniel chapter 2, we remember that Daniel was the chief of these Magi. He was appointed because of his excellences. And Daniel has the gift from God for interpretation, and that's why he was appointed as the chief of all of these people. Now, in those days, all of these astronomers or astrologists, they must be the scholar. They are highly educated. They could be the priests, they could be the astronomers, they could be the court advisor to rulers. They could be the interpreter of dreams and signs, or they could be the famous fortune tellers even. For sure, they was known as the elite electors from the royal court. Like I just shared with you about the Daniel, was the chief of Magi. However, we usually just mention about Iran, Iraq, or the Parthian Empire. How about China? And today I will give you another new theory on this one. Could it be these Magi were the ancient Chinese? Or if they were not, at least there would be something very important that talk about the birth of the Lord Jesus Christ. Why do we say China? Because China was also very famous in astronomy and astrology even in the ancient time. Now, in the ancient time in China Empire, we know that the kings and the emperors usually pay the great attention to the natural science. Why do they have to pay a lot of attention to the natural side? because those signs usually it will show them about the changing in the dynasty. Or maybe a new king may come up. And usually in the imperial city of China in those days, they usually have about 14 astronomers. Now pay attention to that. They have at least the full-time 14 astronomers who observe the skies, the star daily from morning until the evening. They took turn in order to observe about the skies, the star, or anything that happened in the natural world. They record in detail of the special phenomena because the ancient Chinese believed that when they observe the heavenly bodies to discern the changes of the ages, observe humanity to teach people and govern the world. These are the two main principles why that they observe the natural world. First, when they observe the heavenly bodies, they are going to discern the changes of the ages. In other words, the change in the kingdom. The new talent is coming up or was born, or maybe a new king was born. Usually it's go with the heavenly bodies, or we see the star, the comets, and that is the background. Now, interestingly, during the Han Dynasty in China, and the Chinese astronomer saw this star that we say the star that led these Magi or the wise men came all the way from the east to Bethlehem.